All right, Panther fans, I got a treat for you here today. Now, if you've been watching this channel over the last week, you know I've been doing Florida Panther player reviews where I talk about how the players played a little bit last year on an individual basis, and then we talk about how they're going to improve next season. Now, I've done a few players so far. I did my favorite player in Owen Tippett, and everybody was pretty much surprised that I was actually pretty fair there. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate the like button, really appreciate the comments. It really helps the algorithm out a lot. Now, we're going to do Gustav Forsling today. And when I say we, I mean Stu, because Stu had this guy pegged from the very beginning. Even in training camp, he saw something special in this kid, and he was telling everybody on Twitter. And then right around game 20, he got to already tell everybody, I told you guys, this is the real deal. This kid's the real deal. So we're going to let Stu tell us. We're going to let him give us a little bit of review. Just give us your thoughts, Stu, on how you think he can improve, because that's the biggest thing is all these guys he had such a big breakout year last year. Now, how does he keep it up?
Okay. First of all, I gotta show everybody. I pulled this out of the closet. This was the original inaugural jersey.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm on the way out to your house now to take that off.
For those that like the old one, and the story that I heard behind this jersey was the year before, San Jose came into the league. And if anybody knows the logo for the Sharks, it's the shark biting the stick.
Yeah.
So I think the NHL went to the Panthers and said, hey, it's too similar. You can't do it. And obviously the next season they didn't have it. But anyway. So Gustav Forsling, my man.
Yeah, definitely your man.
I just thought when I saw the kid the first time, and as the games went on, he reminded me a lot of Jay Bouwmeester.
Yeah.
A guy that's just a smooth skater, head up, sees the plays, usually makes the right decision with the puck. And as the season, continued to get on, it just seemed to me he got better. Then Ekblad went down, and it's like, woe was us. What are we going to do now? And Q moved him up with Uyghur. And I think he did more than a great job, not filling Ekblad's shoes, but close to it.
Right.
That pair was solid. I don't think he had as good a playoff as I expected.
Yeah. But that's pretty much everybody, right?
But keep in mind, he only had a 1-year contract. He's now signed for 3 years. So he's got some security.
Right.
And I'm expecting big things from him this year.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
Who is he going to play with?
Yes.
Obviously, the first thing that I'm thinking is Ekblad and Uyghur are going to be put together, and that's going to be the first pair. So I think it's going to be Forsling and Gudas, which is great because Gudas is a stay back defenseman.
Right.
He's the tough guy, and Forsling is the offensive guy. So if you're asking me what can be improved in his game, I think taking charge of the puck and being more offensive minded. You could see when he did that, like in that Tampa game when he tied the game up, he's definitely got the moves and he's got the shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a question of him getting opportunities. So I'm hoping Q puts him on the second with Uyghur.
Right.
I think the first unit is pretty locked up. Barkov, Verhaeghe, Reinhardt, Huberdeau,
and Ekblad. Yeah.
So I think. But Forsling could easily, he could easily slot in that first unit, but I don't see that happening. Again, I know it's kind of crazy, but I still like to see Forsling and Ekblad play together.
Right.
Just to see that left-right combination. Who knows if it will happen?
Now, who knows if it'll happen? But the thing with Forsling, for me, I think is going to be, you touched on it. He had the 1-year deal, and basically, it was his first year in the system and with the team and everything. and he's going to be much more comfortable in his role right now. And I think that will lead to him taking more offensive chances. You know what I mean? Yeah, when you mentioned the playoffs, and I think that was there's, I'm not judging too many of the guys based on their playoff performance right now, because when we lost Ekblad, it just caused that chain reaction down the line where everybody was doing something they really weren't supposed to be doing at that point. It changed everybody's roles so much. The thing I like about Forsling is just the steadiness, and you touched on that, where he's never out of position. He may not have like elite one-on-one skills, and you may be able to get around him every once in a while, but he's in position. There's no easy goals coming when he's on the ice, is in terms of anybody that he's up against. But yeah, I think you touched on it really well with the giving him that contract. A young player like that, in today's NHL with that skill level in that position, especially, a lot of times guys, they might feel like, annual trade bait, you know what I mean? And so I think mentally, I think it'll just do him a lot of good to just have that all solidified and everything. And I think it'll make it a lot more comfortable. Now, he had 5 goals, which, obviously for a defenseman is not terrible. What do you have a number in mind?
I'd like to see him get at least 10, 15. And I don't think that's outrageous to want that.
Right.
It's just a question of how much is he going to take the puck and be part of the offense.
Right.
Trailing the play. A lot of defensemen, they get that goal like he did in the Tampa game in the playoffs. He saw an opening. He went for the opening. They found him, and boom, it was in the net. Vasilevsky just had no chance on that. No. So again, confidence is a big factor with any player.
Right.
The difference between a Forsling and a Matheson, it's hockey IQ.
Yep.
Just like Spencer Knight has hockey IQ. Just like Huberdeau has hockey. All the great players
right.
have great hockey IQ.
Right.
That's what made Gretzky so good.
Yep.
Knowing what to do.
Right. That's why they're always in the right place at the right time.
Right. And that's why I compare him to Bouwmeester. When Bouwmeester left. Let's just look at the St. Louis years. In the last few years, before he had his incident and had to retire. But, I'd watch games, and I always like to zero in on players. And Forsling reminds me of the Bouwmeester. Head up,
yep,
smooth, like I said, not out of position, very cool, doesn't panic, doesn't drop down and do that Yandel
the magic wand. Yep.
And like I said, I think pairing him up with Gudas, who's just, he's our tough guy. He's going to know that Gudas has his back.
Exactly.
Or Gudas is going to be the guy in front of the net, taking guys out.
Right.
Which the Panthers did a really good job for the most part last year of not allowing that gimme goal where 3 guys went in the corner.
Right.
And 2 guys were left out in front.
Yeah, no, it was
when they did that, and they did that a couple of times in the Tampa series where, they were puck watching. You can't be puck watching.
It was a massive improvement that way. Now, real quick here, you had said maybe 10, 15 goals. So I looked at Forsling had 5 goals, but only 43 games he played him. So you extrapolate that over a full season, he's almost at the 10-goal pace as it is. So yeah, he obviously has the skill for 10, maybe even 15, like you said. And that would
say 10 between 10 and 15, but I want to see more. I want to see more assists.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I'd take less goals, but more assists.
Right.
That's the one thing that Yandel gave us was that his offense ability.
Yeah.
Defense was horrible, but he did contribute.
Yep.
So again,
Well,
I'm hoping he gets power play minutes.
I think that's a key there, especially where the assists are concerned. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him. Like you said, I mean, I don't. On a lot of teams, he might be on that first power play. We've got so many guys right now. I mean, like I was talking about yesterday in the live stream, you could make us a playoff worthy roster and still leave out Thornton and Hornquist. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how deep we are. It's just like you have four lines that practically you could put together that are capable of being the top two lines. So
well, that first unit, expect that first unit to be on the ice for a majority of the penalty, for those
yeah. That's what he was doing. He was using like a minute and a half for that first unit.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to get things, going with only 30 seconds or 40 seconds left in the power play. But
well, we also may see. I wonder if Ekblad comes out and he's not ready for 26, 27 minutes a game, and maybe if Forsling gets a shot or two every once in a while on the power play up top, or I think Forsling's minutes in the beginning may be affected by how full bore is Ekblad ready to go. Because remember with Huberdeau when he came back, and Trocheck too, it took him a while, to play into shape, and so it's going to be another interesting thing to see there, if how much that affects his playing time.
I think Ekblad's going to be fine, and I think Ekblad is just like the team is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder because he was right in the running for the Norris.
Yeah, I know.
He tied for first with goals. He was up there, and it's. I'm not worried. I mean, again, we did the live stream yesterday, and there were hypotheticals. Who would you like to see?
Yeah.
Come back, and I basically made a comment that kind of stopped my conversation, which said, you know what? Leave the team alone. We don't need any from the past.
No, whoever. I know. And then somebody had to bring in I think it was Bud the Monkey brought up bringing a prime Yager back, and that blew up the whole. That got my head. I forgot about Huberdeau at that point because I started making lines, and you put a prime Yager on this team, and we might score 8 goals a night. You know what I mean?
Pavel Bure. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to play that game.
Yeah,
but let's get back to reality.
Right.
I mean, if you're a Panther fan and you're not just like jonesing right now, and so excited for the season report. But I was watching, and I forget the guy's channel. Not a Panther fan, but he was analyzing the Panthers, and what he did was he looked at the first 20 games.
Right.
We got a really tough schedule.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
So that's going to make or break our season.
Yep.
And, what did I say? 23-2 or 22, whatever.
Yeah, I think you wanted us like 25-5 and 3.
No. It was 20 or it was 23-2. But
what? Yeah, that's where the 25 came from. It added up to 25 games. Yeah,
I think that's a pipe dream.
23-2 is, geez, what's that? I mean, what's that? That's 25 games. That's 42 points in 25 games. That's about 130 point pace. I'm not so sure.
I don't know. I'm just, I threw that out there, and then I looked at the schedule again. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, no. If we can we're
gonna have some very, very tough games.
Right.
The first quarter of the season. If we could get through that first quarter of the season, with a record. I mean, I want to be in the top. What I'd really love to see is I'd love to see us be in first place,
right,
and just ride the wave. Everybody was like, "Oh, well, we have to win a series." You know what? It starts with winning the division and playing. If we had won the division, we wouldn't have played Tampa.
Right.
Tampa and Carolina.
Well, remember, everybody wanted Tampa because we were afraid of Carolina at that point because how they played against us during the regular season, which, you see how much that mattered because you saw how we played the last 2 games against Tampa, and we all thought we got this. And then Kucherov, 5 minutes into game 1, was like, "No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm back."
Yeah.
And that was that for him. So
Well, I don't, and I said this to you a few times. I don't think Tampa's repeating,
no,
and especially with the guys that they lost.
right,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, you can win 1, you can win 2, but when you start talking about winning 3 in any sport, the mental exhaustion alone is usually catches up to you at some point. So, all right, bud, we'll close this one out for now. Now, for those of you who are members of the Patreon or anybody who's joined the YouTube membership, we're gonna get ready to do a second video. We're going to be talking about a few things like the Olympics and a couple other Panther and NHL related things. So Stu's going to stick around. Everybody else, I appreciate everybody watching, and I will see you guys again. What's today? Today's Monday. So tomorrow, I think I'm going to do Barkov tomorrow. I think I'm going to get that one out of the way tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I got to find somewhere. It's going to be a short video.
What?
It's going to be a short video. It's going to be like, how can Barkov improve? Yeah, I got nothing. And that's it. That is going to be like an 8-second. It'll be like one of those shorts that you see. That's it. All right, Stu. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
All right.